So here in this video presentation, let's look into the concept that is related to combinations with repetitions. So hello everyone, I am Mrs. Archana Priyadashni, Assistant Professor in the Department of ISC, Canara Engineering College. So today we'll see what is combinations with repetitions. So as you have already seen the different concepts or formulas related to combinations, so just a variation of combinations, that is combinations with repetitions, are discussed here. So let's look into the formula first of all. So what exactly is combinations with repetitions? So let's say we want to have a selection of R objects. Okay, we want to have a selection of R objects. So this is the selection from the set of N objects, or I mean to say N distinct objects. Okay, so let's say we want to select with repetition. Okay, I mean to say we want to select with repetition. That means there may be several identical things. Okay, and we have to choose R objects out of N distinct objects. So I may choose the same objects, same R objects next time also. So it is called with repetitions. Choosing of R objects in the first trial and in the second trial. So I may choose the same R object in the next trial too. So this deals with combinations with repetition. So let's say we have got to choose R objects with repetition from a set of N distinct objects. So how many such selections are possible? Okay, how many such selections are possible is with the C of N plus R minus 1 comma R. So it is given by C of N plus R minus 1 comma R. So this represents the number of combinations of N distinct objects taken R at a time. I repeat, this represents the number of ways in which R objects can be distributed among the N distinct containers. So if there are containers, okay, so how can I distribute the R objects in all those containers? How can I distribute R identical objects in these N distinct containers? So this is container 1, 2, 3 and 4. So let's say there are 4 containers. How can you distribute these R identical objects in these containers? So that is given by this formula, C of N plus R minus 1, where R is the chosen criteria, or we have to take R at a time from the N distinct objects, and here repetitions are allowed. So this formula is, this is nothing but is equal to C of R plus N minus 1 comma N minus 1. Okay, just see this formula. You have to use this formula in your problems. So C of N plus R minus 1 comma R is nothing but C of R plus N minus 1 comma N minus 1. So this represents the number of ways in which the R identical objects can be placed in N distinct containers. Or it can be also used to find out the number of non-negative integer solutions. So this is an important question. Sometimes they will be asking, find out the number of non-negative integer solutions in the equation. So the equation will be like x1 plus x2 plus so on plus xn equals r. So nth term, so it will be equal to r. So if this equation is given, how do you find out the number of non-negative integer solutions? So it is by application of this formula itself. C of n plus r minus 1 comma r is nothing but C of r plus n minus 1 comma n minus 1. So now let's look into some of the problems. So let me take a particular problem. Let's say a bag contains, so a bag contains 7 different denominations. Bag contains 7 different denominations, and with at least 1 dozen coins in each denomination? So there are 7 different denominations, so I'll just represent it like this. And we have to have at least 1 dozen coins in each denominations. So this refers to n, the value of n, and this refers to the value of r. So this is the basic thing that you need to identify given the question. So what is the value of n and what is the value of r, and whether it belongs to the category of combinations with repetitions. So whenever you identify this, it is clearly combinations with repetitions, wherein you can choose the same dozen of coins to be put into the set of 7 different denominations. Okay, so let me continue the question. The question says the bag contains 7 different denominations with at least 1 dozen coins in each denomination. Okay, and by this statement only it is clear it is combination with repetitions. So next, they have asked you to find out in how many ways. Okay, in how many ways can we select a dozen coins from the bag? Can we select a dozen coins from the bag? So we have already identified what is the value of n and what is the value of r from the given question. So our n value is 7 and r is 12, and so this can be put into the formula of n plus r minus 1. So what is the value of n? 7 plus r minus 1 comma r. What is the value of r? 12. It's nothing but, what do we have? It is this value is nothing but we get 18 comma 12. What is c of 18 comma 12? Just calculate. It is nothing but 18 factorial by 6 factorial into 12 factorial. So you can calculate and write the answer for this particular question. So coming to the next problem. So in the next problem, you have got to find out in how many ways can we distribute 10 identical marbles. So it is very clear, it is combination with repetitions, and we have to distribute. Okay, we have to distribute 10 identical marbles among 6 distinct containers. You can observe the terms or the words that is given here, distinct, and we have got identical, and it is very clear the one close to identical is the value of r and the one close to distinct is the value of n. So the question is, in how many ways can we distribute 10 marbles in 6 containers? Okay, there are 6 containers. So this is container 1, container 2, container 3, container 4, container 5 and container 6. We are supposed to distribute 10 identical marbles. So the same 10 marbles can be over here, over here, over here and all. So how can we distribute them? So we know the value of n is 6, the value of r is 10. We have to put 10 marbles in those 6 distinct containers. Okay, so how it can be done is c of n plus r minus 1 comma r, which is nothing but here 6 plus 10 minus 1 comma 10. So it's nothing but 50 c of 15 comma 10. Okay, we can write it as 15 factorial by 10 factorial into 5 factorial. So we'll be getting around this one. Okay, just check it. So these are some of the problems that will come under combinations with repetitions, and still more if you you will be given some other problems, some different kind of problems. That is, they'll be asking you to find out the number of non-negative integer solutions. Okay, this is an important question. Find out the number of non-negative integer solutions. of the equation. So some equation will be given, as I have told you. The equation will be of the form x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus so on plus xk equal to n. So here we have got the question x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 equal to 8. So this value will be n and this value will be r, as we know that you will be given this form x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus 1 xn equal to r. So according to this question, we can say that this is the value of n and this is the value of r. So consequently we can use the same formula for finding out the number of non-negative integer solutions. C of n plus r minus 1 comma r is our formula, and we know the value of n, we have to write it. However, the value of n is 5 and the value of r is 8. So it will be C of 5 plus 8 minus 1 comma 8. So what we get is C of 12 comma 8. So find out the value and just justify whether we get 495. So this is a kind of different problem that will come under combinations with repetitions. Okay, still more, if we just go in deep, so you will be also given a problem that is related to finding out thinking logically. For example, so find out the number of non-negative integer solutions of the equation of the inequality. They are given an inequality and we need to find out the number of non-negative integer solutions. So it is given as x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x6 less than 10. So they have not given directly, they have given a constraint, it's less than 10. So how do we solve this? So as we know, we have to find out the number of non-negative integer solutions. Since it is less than 10, we'll have numbers till 9. Okay, numbers till 9. That means if I take, so I can also represent this as x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x6 equals 9 minus some term, 9 minus x7. So why I am writing this is, this will be some numbers approaching 9, non-negative integers, so they are integers. Okay, so I can have 9 minus 1, that is any numbers less than 9 and up till 9 I can have. That's why I am using this. So if I have x7 is 0, so I'll be getting here 9, right? So if I have x7 is 1, I'll be getting 8. If I have x7 is 2, I'll be getting 7. So all the range of numbers from what do I say, from 9, okay, that is if I substitute x7 is 9, I'll be getting 0. If I substitute x7 is 8, I'll be getting 1. So from 0 to 9, okay, I'll be getting the values if I write it like this. So this is can be written as like this, right? So where I can write 9 minus x7 is obviously less than equal to 9, right? We can get all the numbers up till 9 and as well as equal to 9. That's why I am writing less than or equal to 9. So what is x7? x7 is a non-negative integer. It should be a non-negative integer and this should be clearly specified. Okay, so what will be the number of, so therefore the number of non-negative solutions to the equation is given by x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus so on, we get x7 equals 9. So now let's see that we can find out that this is the value of n, this is the value of r. So let's write here n is equal to 7 and r is 9. So formula will be n plus r minus 1 comma r, wherein n is 7 plus 9 minus 1 comma 9, which is C of 15 comma 9, and it can be written as 15 factorial by 9 factorial into 15 minus 9, which is nothing but 6 factorial. Okay, so try to find out. You can also write it this much, or you can also simplify the answer. So this is a kind of different problem that you may get for the in the university. So let's take another problem related to the same concept, but it's quite different. So let's say we are given a problem wherein we have to find out the number of integer solutions. Okay, so let's say find out or find the number of integer solutions of x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 is 30, where here the constraint is given. This is a quite different problem where x1 is greater than or equal to 2 and x2 is greater than or equal to 3 and x3 is greater than or equal to 4 and x4 is greater than or equal to 2 and x5 is greater than or equal to 0. So when we try to solve this, we can say that if you want to write this as x1 greater than or equal to 2, so how could we write this as basically? So if you want x1 to be greater than or equal to 2, so first of all we have to set the number. So in this case, if the question is given in this form, you need to set the values of let's write all this in terms of y variable, wherein y1 will be x1 minus 2, right? You know it how to write. So y2 will be x2 minus 3. Okay, y3 will be x3 minus 4 and y4 will be x4 minus 2 and y5 is x5. So wherein all these y1, y2 and y3 and so on up till y5, they are non-negative integers. Okay, they are non-negative integers. So once you know this, that it belongs to a kind of non-negative integer format. This is like a non-negative integer format, wherein x1 can take the value is greater than or equal to 2. If I have got 3, it will become the y1 will be 1. If I take x1 is 4, y1 value will be 2, like that. So if we have such a format wherein we can justify this statement, so this becomes easier to say that they are non-negative integers. Okay, so once this is written, so let's substitute these y1s, y2, y3 and y4 in this question. So in place of x1 we are going to write, so what will be x1 as per this term? In place of x1 you are going to write y1 plus 2. In place of x2 you are going to write y2 plus 3 and so on. So we are going to indirectly substitute in this place. So we will get y1 plus 2, okay, plus, so what will be x2 now? X2 will be y2 plus 3. So let's write y2 plus 3 plus, and what will be x3 here? y3 plus 4 and what will be y4, or what will be x4? y4 plus 2, okay, y4 plus 2 and plus y5 whose value is given to be 30, okay, whose value is given to be 30. So now let's I have written it over here. So now let's simplify this so that we get all y's terms here, and the value will be on the right hand side. So totally we will be getting y1 plus y2 plus y3 plus y4 plus y5 equals to 30 minus, see, just compute, add the values of 2 plus 3 5, 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 2 11. So this value will be written over here basically. So it is 30 minus 11, which is nothing but 19. So clearly we can know what is the value of n. So here we can write n is equal to 5 and r is 19. Okay, r is 19. So now we can write compute the number of non-negative integer solutions of the equation is given by C of n plus, what is the value of n? 5 plus r value is 19 minus 1 comma 19. So we will be getting C of 23 comma 19, which is nothing but, I can write it as 23 factorial by 19 factorial into 23 minus 19, it is 4 factorial. So you can also simplify this and get the value. So this is a kind of different problem where you will be given some constraints. Okay, so let's see another problem which is quite different. So let's take a question. So the question is, in how many ways can 10 identical pencils be distributed among 5 children, okay, among 5 children in the following case. The constraint is there are no restrictions, so that means anybody can get the pencil. Okay, but the concept is you have to distribute 10 identical pencils among 5 children. So we know that there are 5 children. So this is the value of n and this is the value of r. As we know, also identical concept. So that refers to the objects that are distributed. So here we have got r is 10. Okay, coming to the question. So first question is related to there are no restrictions. So in the second sub question, we have to determine that each child gets at least one pencil. So this is the restriction. So this kind of problem is very important. So in the next sub question, we are given the youngest child gets at least 2 pencils. Okay, so this is the kind of problem, very interesting problem. So let's draw a solution. And for the first sub question, we are supposed to find out how this distribution is possible with no restriction. That is, there should not be any restrictions. It's like you know the value of n, that is n is 5 and r value is 10. So substituting in the formula, what we get is C of n plus r minus 1, n plus r minus 1 comma r. So it is nothing but C of 14 comma 10, and which can be written as 14 factorial by 10 factorial into 4 factorial, which is around 1001. We just check it. So this is the answer to the first sub question. So in the second sub question, they have asked you to see that each child gets at least one pencil. Okay, each child gets at least one pencil. How is this possible? So what we do is, first of all, how many children are there? There are 5 children. let's denote this by 5 places. Okay, so this is child 1. So let's child 2, child 3, child 4 and child 5. So what we do is, since each child has to get at least one pencil, we are going to distribute one pencil to each child, minimum one pencil to each child. So totally how many pencils are there? Totally we can observe that there are 10 pencils and 5 are already distributed, right? 5 are already distributed. So how many pencils are there to distribute? So remaining 5 pencils are to be distributed to the 5 children. So again here the n value is 5 and r value is also 5. Okay, so we can write the formula as the solution to the second sub question is C of n plus r. C of n value is also 5, r value is also 5. N plus r minus 1 comma r. So it is C of 9 comma 5, which can be written as 9 factorial by 5 factorial into 4 factorial, which comes at around 126. So let's try to solve the third question. So in the third question, the youngest child gets at least 2 pencils. So how is this possible? The youngest child gets at least 2 pencils. So what we do is, let's assume that as per my distribution I will be writing it 5 children over here, C2, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, and let's assume C1 is the youngest child and we distribute 2 pencils to this child first. Okay, so how many pencils are remaining? So we know that 10 pencils are there altogether. Altogether there are 10 pencils and 2 are already distributed to the youngest child. So remaining we have got 8 pencils to be distributed, okay, among the 5 children. 8 pencils to be distributed among the 5 children. So the value of n is 5 over here. So 8 identical pencils, I mean to say, so this is the value of r. So here n is equal to 5 and r is 8. So now let's substitute for C of n plus r minus 1 comma r. So this is the answer for the third sub question. So this is C of 12 comma 8, which is nothing but 12 factorial by 8 factorial into 4 factorial. The answer we get is it's around 495. Okay, let's continue with the same concept related to combinations with repetition. So welcome back. So let's take another problem. So in this problem we have to find out the number of ways one can distribute 8 identical balls. Okay, 8 identical balls into 4 distinct containers. So there are totally 4 containers and we have to distribute them in such a way that the first condition is no container is left empty. No container is left empty. This is the first condition. In the second condition, the fourth container gets odd number of balls. Okay, gets odd number of balls. So there are how many balls? There are 8 balls. The fourth container gets odd number of balls. So it may be 1, 3, 5 and 7. So these are the possibilities. So coming to the first sub question. So the value of n is, as we know, so the value of n is, there are 4 containers and 8 identical balls. This is the criteria for distribution. Okay, So but as per the first question, the no container should be left empty. What does it mean? How many containers are there? There are totally 4 containers, and no container is left empty means let us distribute at least one ball in those 4 containers. One ball in those 4 containers. So how many balls are remaining to distribute? So remaining there are, see totally there are how many balls? There are 8 balls. 4 balls are already distributed. So remaining 4 balls are to be distributed in those 4 containers. So we have to find out this combination. How can we combine the balls so that we can have the balls in those 4 containers? So it can be written as C of n, which is nothing but n is those containers, 4 plus balls. So we have got 4 balls, n plus r minus 1 comma r. So it is C of 7 comma 4, which is nothing but 7 factorial by 4 factorial into 3 factorial, which is 35. So this is the answer to the first sub question. So in the second sub question, what do we have is the 4th container gets odd number of balls. Okay, 4th container gets odd number of balls. So how can we get this criteria? So if the 4th container has to have odd number of balls, what must be done? Has to get odd number of balls. So we have to put either 1 ball or 3 balls or 5 balls or 7 balls in those 4th container. Correct? So suppose, let's take the first choice. If we put 1 ball in the 4th container, 1 ball in the 4th container, so that is, let's assume this is the 4th container and we put just 1 ball. Okay, so remaining how many balls are there? Remaining out of, we have totally got 8 balls, so 1 is already distributed. So remaining 7 balls are to be distributed in how many containers? So what we are doing is, we are fixing just 1 ball. As we know, the 4th container should contain odd balls. Okay, we are fixing in the first choice the 4th container containing just 1 ball. So 7 balls, remaining 7 balls are to be distributed in these 3 containers, right? In 3 containers. So this is nothing but the value of r, 7 identical balls, and this is the number of containers is the value of n. So we have C of n plus r minus 1 comma r, which gives you C of 9 comma 7 base. So find out this answer and write. So this is the first choice when we take the 4th container should contain odd number of balls, just by fixing 1 ball in the 4th container. So now if we place the second choice or the second option is the 4th container should have 3 balls. Okay, so it should have 3 balls. We are fixing this for the 4th container. So we have totally got 8 identical balls and 3 are already distributed. Okay, 3 are already distributed. So remaining, how many balls are there? Remaining 5 balls. 5 balls are to be put into 3 containers. 3 containers. So the value of n is 3, r is 5. So we will get C of n plus r minus 1 comma r, which is C of 7 comma 5 base. So this is the answer for the second choice. And the third choice, we are taking 5 balls to be fixed in the 4th container. Okay, so what happens if 5 balls are put in the 4th container? So we are fixing them. So totally we have got 8 balls and 4 balls are already distributed. So remaining 4 balls are to be distributed among those 3 containers. Okay, so what we get is the value of n here is 3, value of r is 4. 4 balls in 3 containers. R is 4. So we get C of n plus r minus 1 comma. So this is about the 5 balls. Okay, see here you can observe 5 balls are already distributed. So 5 balls are already distributed. So remaining 3 balls are to be distributed among the 3 containers. So we have distributed 5 balls, not 4 balls. Okay, we have distributed 5 balls, and when we already distribute 5 balls among 8 balls, remaining 3 balls are to be distributed in the 3 containers. So value of n and r are the same. Value of n is 3 and r is also 3. So we'll get n plus r minus 1 comma r. So we'll get C of what we get it as 6 minus 1, 5 comma 3 base. So now let's opt the last choice, that is putting 7 balls in the 4th container. 7 balls in the 4th container. So 7 balls. So we have actually 8 balls and 7 balls are already distributed. 7 balls are already distributed. So remaining how many balls are to be distributed? Remaining we have just got 1 ball to be distributed among 3 containers. So what is the value of n? N value is 3, r is 1. So we have to find out n plus r minus 1 comma r. This C of 3 comma 1 base. Okay, so it is nothing but the summation of 7 balls put in the 4th container, summation of 5 balls put in the 4th container, 3 balls and finally 1 ball. So it is, you have to just find out the sum rule, or it will be totally we have got these many ways. C of 9 comma 7, that is if you put just 1 ball in the 4th container, plus C of 7 comma 5 balls, 7 comma 5 ways, that is if you put 3 balls in the 4th container, and C of 5 comma 3 ways if we put just 5 balls, and last is C of 3 comma 1 ways if we just put 7 balls in the 4th container. So totally if you just verify, this will be like 9 factorial into 7 factorial into 2 factorial plus 7 factorial into 5 factorial into 2 factorial plus 5 factorial into 3 factorial into 2 factorial plus this will be 3. So you can also further simplify this answer and check whether you get 70. So this is one question wherein you will get a kind of a quite big question. You need to this may also appear in the question paper. And let's see the next problem wherein a total amount of rupees 1500 is to be distributed. So let's say the total amount of 1500 is to be distributed to 3 poor students A, B, C, and they have asked you to find out in how many ways the distribution can be made in multiples of 100. You have to distribute in multiples of rupees 100. So the first constraint is everyone must get at least rupees 300 is the first constraint. In the second question you have got if A must get at least rupees 500 and B and C must get at least rupees 400 each. So what is the how can we distribute, or how is the distribution possible? How is the distribution possible? So let's try to solve this. So first of all, we must know this much amount, 1500 rupees must be distributed among those 3 children A, B, C, and they have to be distributed in multiples of 100. Okay, in multiples of 100. So what we do is, first of all, we take rupees 100 as a unit. So let's take this as a single unit. So totally how many units are there? 15 units, right? Just divide this 1500 by 100. What you will get is 15 units. So we are just taking 100 as 1 unit. So if we have got this much, it will be 15 units. So totally 15 units are there for distribution. So in the first case, in the first problem, what they have asked you to find out is everyone must get at least rupees 300. At least rupees 300. So that means everyone must get at least 3 units. So let's distribute 3 units to each of the 3 students. So let's say this is A. A has got 3 units. B has got 3 units. C has got 3 units. So 4 children A, B, C, they are being given 3 units each. Okay. So how many are already distributed is 9 are already distributed among how many? Among 15. Okay. So remaining 6 units are to be distributed to those 3 children, right? So this is what we have to find out, the number of combinations. So what is the value of n? N value is 3, n plus r, this is the value of r, n plus r minus 1, comma r. So it will be C of 8, 6, find out the value and justify the answer. So this is the answer to the first sub question. Everyone must get at least rupees 300. So we are distributing at least 3 units to each one of them, and then finding out how many remaining items or units are to be distributed among the children and finding out the combination. So in the next, if you try to solve the next question, that is A must get at least rupees 500, B and C must get at least rupees 400 each. So let's solve this one. So A, let's say A gets at least 5 units. Okay, B and C gets 4 units, at least 4 units each. So that is A is getting 5 units, B is getting 4 units, C is getting 4 units. So 13 units are already distributed among totally 15 units, right? So remaining how many units are to be distributed? So remaining 2 units are to be distributed among those 3 children. Okay, are to be distributed among those 3 children. So what do we get is, basically we get here the value of n is 3, value of r is 2. It will be C of n plus r minus 1 comma r, which is C of 4 comma 2, nothing but 6. Okay, so this is a kind of problem that you may get in the university. So we'll see another problem related to the same concept. So the question is, you are supposed to find out the number of ways of giving 10 identical gift boxes to 6 persons A, B, C. That is 10 identical boxes. You can say that this is R, right? 10 identical boxes are to be given to 6 persons A, B, C, 6 A, B, C, D, E and F. So in such a way that the total number of boxes given to A and B does not exceed 4. Does not exceed 4. Okay, does not exceed 4. So this is the question. So how we can solve this? Basically we know that there are 10 boxes. Okay, so out of these 10 boxes, suppose we distribute R boxes. Let's assume that we distribute R boxes to A and B, which are given together. Okay, we distribute R boxes to A and B, but the condition is it should not exceed 4. So I can write, we can assume that it ranges from 0 to does not exceed 4. That is, the R value it must be maximum 4. So I can write it like this. You can give either 0 boxes to A and B, 1 boxes, 2, 3 boxes, or at the max 4 boxes. So this is the condition. So in case if we choose R boxes to be distributed to A and B out of 10 boxes. So how many ways this can be done? How many ways can we give R boxes to A and B so that this condition is intact? So what is the value of n? We are giving to 2 people. So n value is 2 plus n plus R. What is the value of R? It ranges. Okay, n plus R minus 1 comma R. It is R itself. So which is C of R plus 1 comma R. So you can also find out this answer or simplify this answer, which will give you anyways R plus 1. So next is we have already given this condition, that is we already know that R boxes are distributed to A and B. So out of 10 boxes, remaining 10 minus R boxes are to be given to other people, right? We have already given the box based on the condition, but remaining 10 minus R boxes are to be given to those 4 people, C, D, E, F, right? Are to be given to C, D, E, F. So how can this be possible? So we have the number, that is totally we have to give it to 4. So n value is 4, n plus R. So what is the value of R? Value of R is this one, 10 minus R, n plus R minus 1. Okay, this formula is n plus R minus 1 comma R. What is the value of R? 10 minus R. So what we get here is C of 14 minus 1 is 13 minus R. 13 minus R and 10 minus R. Okay, so we can also write this as C of 13 minus R comma 3. Okay, if you can also write it this one, or if you want you can write it this one. So now, so totally how many ways are there? So number of ways in which R boxes have to be distributed to A and B, and 10 minus R boxes are to be distributed to C, D, E and F is R plus 1 into C of 13 minus R comma 3, right? So totally we can write the number of ways. So I'll write here totally the number of ways in which boxes can be distributed are R plus 1. So this is the value in which it is given, R boxes are given to A and B, into C of 13 minus R comma 3. So this is the number of ways in which 10 minus R boxes are given to C, D, E and F. So basically if we apply the limit, that is if we apply the condition R ranging from 0 to 4, so it will be R plus 1 into C of 13 minus R comma 3. So this is the number, exact number of ways in which boxes may be given as per the rule. So this is the answer you need to finalize. So next question, it's a very important question is, so let's say a message is made up of 12 different symbols. Okay, very interesting. Let's say a message is made up of 12 different symbols and is to be transmitted. Okay, and it is to be transmitted in a communication channel. So 12 different symbols are to be transmitted in a communication channel. So in addition to these 12 symbols, so we have got the transmitter will also send, so the transmitter will also send 45 blank spaces. Okay, 45 blank spaces between the symbols. So between the symbols, with at least 3 spaces between each pair of symbols. So with at least 3 spaces between each pair of consecutive symbols. So we have to find out the number of ways the transmitter can send such a message. So number of ways in which transmitter can send such a message. So we know the question, that is the transmitter sends 12 different symbols, and in addition to these 12 symbols it sends 45 blank spaces, and with at least 3 spaces between the symbols, between the consecutive symbols. So in how many ways it can actually send the message? So let me write it over here. So we have got 12 symbols, 3, 4. Okay, there are 12 symbols, and so these 12 symbols, as we know, it can be arranged in 12 factorial ways, right? Can be arranged in 12 factorial ways. So but for each of these arrangements, how many positions are there? If you just observe, this is the first position, second position, third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in between the symbols, 12 symbols, we have got 11 spaces. And and at least 3 spaces must be accommodated between the symbols. Okay, at least 3 spaces must be accommodated in those symbols. So there are 11 spaces. So in additional, for each of them we need to have 3 spaces. So overall we should have 33 spaces out of how many spaces given? 45 blank spaces. Okay, out of 45 blank spaces. So we can have 33 spaces out of 45 blank spaces used up, right? Okay, so we can say that the remaining 12 spaces are to be accommodated. So how many spaces are there? So if you just subtract the remaining number of spaces, so how many symbols are there actually? You know that there are 12 symbols, and there are 11 positions actually, and in these 11 positions, how many spaces can be used up? How many spaces can be used up? It is 45 minus 33, that is 12 spaces can only be accommodated actually. Accommodated. Okay, only 12 spaces can be accommodated. So there are 11 positions, so which is the value of n, and r is 12. Okay, so this can be done, this kind of combination arrangement, this kind of selection of those spaces can be done in combination with repetitions. So it is C of n plus r minus 1 comma r, which is C of 22 comma 12. Okay, so overall we are going to find out how can the transmitter send the message. One is the arrangement of these 12 symbols in 12 factorial ways, and into in addition it will send 45 blank spaces between the symbols, as we know only 11 spaces are there between these 12 symbols, and each space should have, or between each symbol it should have at least 3 spaces. It can have totally 11 spaces into 3, that is 33 spaces in overall, 33 spaces which are used up out of 45 blank spaces. So remaining 12 spaces are to be accommodated in these 11 positions. How it can be done is C of 11 plus 12 minus 1 comma 12. So totally the transmitter, number of ways the transmitter can send a message is 12 factorial into C of 22 comma 12. We can write this only, or we can just further simplify this answer into 22 factorial by 10 factorial. We will be getting this answer, or still you can further simplify. So this is a very important problem that you may get in the university papers. And overall we have come to an end of this combinations with repetitions, and this is the end of module 2 in discrete maths. Thank you everyone. Thanks for patience listening.